And hello, everyone. Welcome to the class. This is David A. Cox here with PCClassesOnline.com. And today, I thought we'd try kind of a new topic of class. We're going to be talking about marketing in regards to YouTube, which is, of course, a lot of people don't know this, but YouTube is actually the #2 search engine in the world. And keep in mind, who's #1? Google. And who owns YouTube? Also Google. So it's one of those things where, depending on what you're trying to do, it can be a really amazing tool for your business. And I wanted to kind of share with you a few of the secrets that I've been using for helping us market our service. And you're, of course, more than welcome to use these for your own. Now, this is a live class right now. We do have an audience right now here. So for those of you who are here live, welcome. If you don't mind, one of the things I always love to do is just kind of hear from all of you and hear, what is your business about? What are you thinking about using YouTube for? If you don't mind typing into your little question box right now on your screen, again, for those of you who are here live right now, I'd love to kind of hear a little bit about your story and how you envision using YouTube. Now, before we actually get started, I want to tell you the reason why I started using it. We have been active. PC Classes Online has been a service in existence now for, we're about to be 2 years. And when we first started, I was using Vimeo to host all of our videos. Vimeo is kind of a competitor to YouTube. And while the video quality was great, you may have noticed that a lot of filmmakers will put their videos on Vimeo. But the problem is that Vimeo is, if it's not only is it not social, it's antisocial. There's no real ability to like and follow people and get subscriptions and get paid advertising fees. There's really none of that. And we were actually paying them $200 a year to allow us to upload our videos. And when I started doing a lot of research over this past summer on YouTube and marketing, one of the things that was happening at the same time was that our account with Vimeo was about to expire. And they sent me an email, which really was what clinched it. And they said, if you don't pay us another $200, we're going to delete all of your videos. And to me, I wrote them a nasty note, and I told them, well, if that doesn't prove that you don't value content, then I don't know what does. So we ended up leaving Vimeo, and this, for those of you who have been members for a while, you probably remember this process was hell, because I had to individually upload every single one of the classes we've ever taught from Vimeo to YouTube. And it took a very long time, but it was worth it in the end. And since we've done that, I can't even tell you the percentage increase that we have now in membership. Of course, we are now a free public service, but as of today's date, we're getting 700 new members a month. And before, it was a fraction of that, even with a national TV appearance that had us in front of 8.5 million people at home. Once we went free and once we went on YouTube, that has been our magic bullet for this whole process in terms of getting it out there, getting it onto a network where people share their favorite videos with their friends. And so today, I just want to kind of throw at you all the different little tricks that I've learned over the last couple of years about video marketing, specifically in regards to YouTube. So I see a couple of you talking a little bit about your businesses, and so, it's one of those things where when you use YouTube for your business, there's a couple different ways that you can use it. A couple different ways you can make money from it. And you have to ask yourself this question: are you using YouTube to bring people into a store? Are you using it to try to get them to buy a product online on your website? Or are you trying to make money through advertising on YouTube? And basically, the reason why we were able to make the switch from a paid service to a free service is I figured out through a couple different methods ways to make money without ever charging any of you a penny. And you're going to learn a lot of them today. I've taken several YouTube classes, and I get really sick of these people who give you like little bits of information here and there, but then they want you to pay up. And that's not what we're doing today. I'm really trying to do my absolute best job to give you all everything that I know about YouTube marketing. Now, one of the first things that you're going to want to do when you create your channel on YouTube is you need to get kind of a brand going. You need to get a feeling for the page. If I go to mine here, let's see here. I think it will show it right here. My channel. So you can see here we have this little graphic up top. It's actually, mine's very simple, and frankly, it probably should be more. a little bit more creative, but for what we do, I think it was fine. Now, for those of you out there who don't have a background in graphic design, or you don't have a graphic designer that you work with, you may or may not be familiar that graphic design can be very expensive. I'm going to show you one of my little secrets here for marketing, and this is going to come up twice today. There is a website out there called Fiverr.com, Fiverr, so 2 R's at the end, .com. Basically, with this website, you pay people to do stuff for you for $5. And a lot of these are really, really dumb, but there's a couple gems in there. And one of them is graphic design. So what you can do is go to the little search bar here, and you can type in either graphic design. Let's try going a little bit more specific. Let's see, YouTube. Let's try YouTube channel. Okay, so there's people here who claim that they can get you, a number of subscribers on YouTube. I wouldn't pay money to that because if you get caught doing that stuff, they will shut you down. Let's try YouTube banner. That might be better. Okay, great. So here you have people who will pay them $5. It uses PayPal, which I think most of you out there probably have. You pay them $5. You give them your graphic, which hopefully you have designed already. If not, I can give you a little trick for that later on for anyone who's interested. And these guys will make you a simple little graphic for the top of your YouTube page. It's a really simple way to bring in more people. It makes you look more professional, because if you don't have a branded channel, you're not going to come off as being, the big dog in whatever you have expertise in. So that's the first little trick I wanted to show you. Now, YouTube as a search engine, like Google, is very, very complex. And it's hard to try to guess how it works, but I'm going to tell you how I think it works based on what I've seen. One of the tricks to getting a lot of followers and getting a lot of views on YouTube is you have to consistently create quality content, and it's got to engage people. So you can't, if you're going to put out, let's say you're going to create 10 videos, you are better off releasing those videos one a week than you are releasing all 10 at once, because YouTube looks at your consistency. Again, all of this is theory. I don't have access to their insider information, but from everything that I have learned, it really does look at how consistent you are in releasing content. Now, the changeover that we made from Vimeo to YouTube only happened, I think it was maybe 3 months ago. I don't think it was even that long ago. I think it was 2 months ago as of today. And since then, it's been absolutely incredible, because I release a new video to YouTube usually once or twice a week, depending on how much free time I have. And I try to really create that quality content. We're going to talk about a few tricks in creating quality content. And the more consistent I am with it, I've noticed the more and more hits we get. And another tip I want to give you is that don't obsess over how many people view your video, okay? You're better off creating a great video that gets a lot of hits over a long period of time, rather than just slapping something together and maybe using one of those services on Fiverr to get a ton of people to supposedly look at your video. You want to create the quality content. And part of creating quality content is a call to action, and that's the next item on our list. So by a call to action, I'll give you the example that I use. It's so simple, but yet a lot of people don't really think about it. You want in your video, if you can, to tell people, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it the little thumbs up button at the bottom. Tell them to subscribe. When you go into a video, of course, now I'm signed into mine right now, but if you go into someone else's video on YouTube, there's that little subscribe button at the top left. And that subscribe button is important when it comes to gaining immediate hits on videos, immediate views, and also if you decide to monetize your videos so that you're getting paid by YouTube advertisers, that is going to be critical. Other things you can do, again, another example that I use, is when you're creating a video. Let me just go into one of mine here, Video Manager. Let's go into this one that I just created the other day. I'm going to immediately pause it so that you don't all hear it. Okay. When you go to create a video, you have this little area where you can put in a description. Let's actually go into the back end here now that I think of, oops, sorry about that. Let's go into the back end here so you can see it. Okay. So of course we have the title, and then you have this description area. Now the first 2 lines, for the most part, whatever you put in there, the person will see. Everything that's beyond those 2 lines is going to get kind of buried, and unless they click the button that says more, where they can see the full description, it's going to probably get lost with a lot of people. Another part of creating consistent content is try to always keep the first line the same. You may have noticed in our classes, the first line in every video on YouTube is take our free classes and then a website link. The website link will work. You cannot place hyperlinks within the video so that they can click in the a box of the video and it goes to an external website. They don't allow that. But you can put a link in the description. It's a simple little trick that you can use, but again, it's looking for those consistent qualities in your video. Think about if YouTube were an actual person. What qualities would, if you were YouTube, what would you look for in someone who's creating content? You want to make sure that they consistently get a lot of likes, that the number of people who subscribe to them is very consistent, and you want there to be kind of a uniform to it. It's got to all have a flow to it. So that's another trick. As far as the title goes here, this is really about figuring out what keywords are people looking for. Probably the best video that I've ever created is our New to Mac series. So for people who have just recently purchased the Mac, I really dive into both the keywords, the tags, and the title to make sure I can get it as absolutely specific as possible so that as many people will view it. When they go to search for New to Mac, I want to pop up. And to do that, I've got to really focus on how all of this information flows. Let's see here. The next thing is when you're creating a video, I cannot strongly enough recommend this. You have to A, know your stuff, and B, never use a script. I have never once used a script for our videos. The problem is that a lot of people, when they start reading, they sound robotic. And what I do for these classes, for the most part, is I usually have a little bit of just a piece of paper next to me with bullet points. And other than that, I'm just talking to you like you were sitting right in front of me. So if you try to avoid the script, you'll really engage people. You come off more as a human, which is a good thing. And it keeps people coming back for more. The next item that I have here, again, it's one of those items, it sounds obvious, and yet a lot of people still do this. Try to avoid using the words like, such as, or any other phrases that just generally make you sound stupid. It's incredible how many videos out there you watch, and you see especially these kids more than anything, and they say the word like for every other word. Funny little quick story. When I was starting PCClassesOnline.com, originally the concept was we were going to have a team of teachers. And these people were going to all have expertise in certain areas. And so I started combing over YouTube, looking for people who could teach the Mac, as an example. And I was shocked at how many people didn't know how to speak correctly. People who were, there were a lot of kids whose voices were cracking and they're quote-unquote teaching you. Teaching is a skill. You have to know how to think like someone who doesn't know what you're trying to teach them. And so when you talk to them, you can't come off as a 13-year-old. You have to sound professional. Try to really focus on the words that you say. And if you screw up, for the love of God, that's why there's a stop button. You can re-record. I'm looking at some of the industries that we have for people who are here, and I think a lot of you, there's one person who's looking to put together a cooking show. I think that's a great idea, especially if you can make it entertaining, make it engaging, and find a way to connect with your fans. I think it was Richard who said that earlier. Susan is an author, and she's looking to do a video on a book that she has coming out. I think that's great. Once again, you got to keep the content flowing. You got to keep it interesting, engage people. I see a few others that we're going to come back to later on. So, as I said, try to avoid using those keywords, like, such as, or anything else. We have already talked about the custom cover image. Oh, here's another one. When you create a video on YouTube, you'll see these 3 thumbnails right here. YouTube automatically goes through the video itself and looks for keyframes, and it will use those keyframes as the image like you see right here. And when I first started using YouTube, I was wondering why I'm creating this great content but no one's watching it. And I realized that part of it is it's your label. You got to have something really good for your image. Hold on one second. I think I'm about to sneeze. And of course, as soon as I said that, I don't. This image here, if you have not used graphic design before, what I would really recommend that you do, if you're on a Mac, there's a great little application I use almost daily. And let's see if I can pull it up right here. Where is it? It's right here. It's called Pixelmator. That's the icon for it. You can get it through the App Store. I think it's maybe $19, I believe. It is sort of an alternative to Photoshop, but it's a really easy way to create custom images for your videos. The actual graphic content that I get here, another website that's pretty obvious, but hey, you may not be aware of it, is go to images.google.com and you can search Google specifically just for images. So on the video that you just saw here, I just typed in Milky Way Galaxy and got an image of that. I got an image of the time machine icon, pulled that up, typed in my own text, and I slapped this graphic together in 2 minutes. Really easy way to get attention. It looks more professional. So for example, if I were to go, let's open a new tab, go to YouTube. Now this video, as I said, is brand new, the one that you just saw, so it's not going to probably pop up at the very top. How to use Time Machine on a Mac. So if you look at this video here, okay, this second one down, which looks better, that one or the one at the very, very top? This one, you know exactly what you're getting because the title is in the actual image. Whereas a lot of these here are just kind of screenshots that it just randomly pulled up. Okay? Let's close that tab out and go back to where we were. Different types of videos that you create on YouTube are definitely going to do better than others. It's a big factor as far as what you're doing. Just because you think that you're interesting doesn't mean the rest of the world thinks that you're interesting. So you've got to create content that's going to get a lot of views, or you really have to look at what is your goal. If your goal is to make money from advertising, you want to try to create viral content, things that a lot of people are going to share, and it's not the kind of thing where they're going to watch it once. They may go back and watch it again and again. And I'm going to go over a big part of that right now. One of the things that I learned in doing all of my research for YouTube was how much money you can get from Google in doing the advertising for this. And I'm going to give you an example. There's this guy on YouTube. Some of you may have heard of him, some of you may not. He's very vulgar, but his name is Ray William Johnson. He's younger than me. I think he's like 25 years old, somewhere around thereabouts. And he's based out of LA, and he creates a video about one a week, and he makes fun of other viral videos on the internet. So let's see if we can pull him up here real quick. I believe his direct link is youtube.com/Ray William, there he is, Johnson. So this guy has created a real, sorry about that. He has created a real name for himself. And I want you to, even if you don't like his content, like I said, he is very, very vulgar. Look at what he's doing here. Immediately in the video, links to follow him. He's very consistent with these things. This video that he has right here came out 3 days ago, and it has 1.5 million hits. And a lot of people will look at that and they'll be like, well, great. How's he making money? The way he makes money is because not every single time you view the video, but a lot of times that you view it, there's an ad beforehand. And most people just click skip. But every time they do that, he does make money. And I'm going to show you how much money. Now, this is a website that I only recently learned about. I'm going to copy, if you look up here at the very top of the web browser, it says youtube.com and it has the channel name. I'm going to copy just the channel name, which in this case is his name. And I'm going to tab over to a little website here called socialblade.com. And to give you an idea of how much money you can make just in advertising, if you can create viral content, Check this out. At the very, very top of the website, you type in the name of the YouTube channel. What this website will do is it will go through that person's analytical data and figure out what approximately is he making, not just for the whole channel, but what is he making per video and what is he making per year in advertising. Like I said, this guy is around 25 years old. Get ready to see how much money he's raking in. Somewhere around $137,000 to $1.7 million. That's a lot of money in just little ads. So in his case, he is making his money because he's trying to create viral content that a ton of people subscribe to, they like, and the word spreads like wildfire. So part of this all goes back to when you're creating the video, if your goal is to make money like the way that Ray does, you need people to subscribe and you need them to like the video. The algorithm that YouTube uses for determining how much money you get for monetized videos is very complicated, but basically it's a combination of everything. You don't want them just to watch the video. They've got to watch the entire video. You want them to subscribe. If they like your video, you get a little bit more. All these things play a factor. There is no magic bullet to this. It's hard work and getting a lot of people to just fall in love with you. Not easy. Next thing I want to talk about is this is right here in the description part. You want to make sure as you are creating your description, you want all of these keywords as much as possible to be within the description. And the tags here, you want to put as many as you possibly can. Because if they search for it in a slightly different way, if they phrase it just a little bit off, you still want to come up. And what happens is the more people that end up watching your video, the higher you're going to rise in where you show up on YouTube if they search for that particular topic. Let's go actually into the analytics right here on mine. Now, as I said, we only switched over to YouTube about 2 months ago. So I'm going to show you kind of some of the information that YouTube gives you access to. And this is one of those things where you can use this to your advantage because you can learn more about the people who are viewing you. For example, if I scroll down here, you'll see that, and I was shocked to learn this, that 68.9% of the people who view our videos are male, which is ironic because in my small business, I would say about 80% of my clientele are women, which is just kind of interesting. But I think it's because more men tend to use YouTube than women, generally speaking. You can find out what countries you're appealing to. So this is where I can find out generally where our viewers live. US, number one. The UK had actually dropped down. Believe it or not, if I go into this more so, you can click on any of these and find out more details. One of the countries, they've dropped down pretty far now. Thailand was actually a lot higher at the very top of the list. You can find these trends starting to take place. And one of the things is that in telling people to like your video and encouraging them to share it with their friends, you can kind of watch these trends start to take place before your very eyes. So, for example, if I sit and chat and I respond to every email that people send me, if I'm chatting with someone from Australia, I can notice on my computer that the number of people who are watching our videos in Australia is going up. It's social media, after all. You want to communicate back with them. It's not just a monologue. It should be a dialogue. Some of the other things that you can see here, you can see how many likes that you're getting each month, how many dislikes you're getting. And it's okay if the dislikes go up as long as the likes go up more so. How many people are subscribing to your channel? You can go into any of these categories and see kind of really the built-in data. This one here was a challenge for us. This is the hardest part of YouTube, is making money. So we are right now, as you can see, as of today's date, making $205 a month from the YouTube advertising. There are other ways that we make money. That's just the way that we make it through YouTube. Now, based on just this, and keeping in mind that we only started uploading to YouTube 2 months ago, this number just a week ago was $100. And since then, it's doubled. So the more consistent you put out that content, all of your videos are going to start to take off. And you're going to notice that this number is going to start to rise exponentially. Something to be aware of. Next item on my little list here. Oh, when you're creating a video, let's go back. I see a great question, by the way, that just came in, which I'll go over in just a minute. Make sure you watch out here for category. For those of you who are uploading your videos through another program like iMovie, or we use ScreenFlow for this particular class, it usually sets a default category here. I believe the default category is, I'm trying to remember, I believe it's entertainment. You want to make sure that you're in the right category. Even though people never ever search for videos by category, it can still be important for you. You want to make sure that you have all of your videos in that one category. By the way, the number one category on YouTube is how-to. Just kind of an interesting thing. Next. Oh, a lot of people, when they start creating YouTube content, get very frustrated because they want their videos to take off and they just don't. You have to be patient, and it's hard to tell someone be patient because no one wants to be patient. It takes time, and you have to prove yourself. It's like with anything. You have to go in there and you're the new dog, and you got to work your way up slowly and consistently over time. If you can prove yourself that you can create good content and you get a lot of subscribers and you get people to like that video, hit the little thumbs up button. That is when you're going to start to notice that your videos are starting to take off. And it's very frustrating because all of us go into YouTube, of course, and we search for something, and you look at the number of views, and it's usually in the hundreds of thousands. It took a long time for those people to be able to get to the point where they created a video, and a couple weeks later, it hit 100,000 views. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. And if you're going to do this, if you're really devoted to putting out content on YouTube, you can't half-ass it. You have to really, really do it. I was working recently with a client on their website, and they were very frustrated with the way it was performing because they wanted to be at the very top of Google. And I tried to explain to them, there is no magic bullet. You have to take the time on your own to go out there, post updates, post videos, interact with people, and that is all going to determine where this all goes. And finally, my last major thing that I wanted to talk about was the importance of being genuine. It's, again, sounds so simple, but people can tell when you're being fake. And if you go out there and you're really passionate about whatever it is you do, whether you're doing a cooking show or you're talking about a new book that you're working on, or if you're shooting a documentary, if you are passionate, it will convey and people will share it, and you cannot fake that. You have to be genuine. At this point, what I would like to do is I want to kind of turn it over to all of you and see what questions I can answer for all of you. We do have a bunch of people who are new here, so in case you are not aware, you should have a little question box on your screen where you can type in at any point, and I see it on my screen, and I'll try to answer as many of them as possible. For those of you who have been watching this video on YouTube, I thank you for joining us. And if you have any other questions, I hope you'll check out some of our other videos on our website at pcclassesonline.com. And yes, of course, we appreciate if you like this video. This is David A. Cox with PC Classes Online. We'll see you all later. Now, let's help those of you who are here right now. Hey, for all of you watching this video on YouTube, sorry, there's one element that I left out of the video, which I'm now cutting into the video so that I can make sure that all of you get to find out as well. At the beginning of the class, one of the things that I said was that there were a couple of different things that you could use Fiverr for to help promote your channel. One of the ones I forgot to mention is a video intro. So as an example, you can go here to Fiverr.com, click in the little search bar, and type in video logo. And you can search through all these. Make sure you check the high rating here. That way you make sure you get people who have a consistent record of good content. And you can find all of these different little video intros. And when you find one you like, you can hit the little play button and see a preview of what it looks like. And so everywhere, of course, where they put yourwebsite.com or the word Fiverr would be replaced with your logo. It's a really simple trick. I have used it myself. I didn't use it for PC Classes Online. I had that one custom created, but it's a easy way to make you look more professional. So it's something I hope you'll bookmark.